ever seen gaps in like cracks in the sidewalk and it's really large? Or you just walk to Walmart and it's like no sidewalk for some reason? Like you can't go nowhere. So today, this is our presentation on the survey of sidewalks. And meet the team.
Hi, I'm Jordan Rogers, boss and CEO.
And I'm Brandon Bacon. I'm the Chief Executive Officer.
I'm Lillian Day. I'm the researcher.
I'm Makaya Riddick. I'm the director.
This is our team.
Okay, this is just some interesting points that we have for our presentation and for introduction. Today, our presentation will cover the work and process of our recent projects, and it's on a survey of sidewalk maintenance. Sidewalks, okay. Sidewalks are really important for this campus. Have you ever you've been on a bicycle, right? And they have no bicycle lanes now in Greensboro. Maybe in downtown, but not really. I've never really seen bicycle lanes. So we need scooters for the sidewalks. We need all of this because sidewalks are really important for people that don't have any mobile transportation. So you have to walk to place. Definitely for people that don't have any money or don't have any income. Sidewalks make it easier and safe to get around. That's one way, so we don't get hit by a bus. You could be in traffic and you could be walking. There's no sidewalk. Where's the sidewalk at? Right. It is important to keep the perpetuation of the sidewalk and keeps us well informed, including the urgency of the situation. Here are some of the results that we have for sidewalk. Literature review. Okay. We have been studying civil engineering and we have been studying urban planning, working on different, looking at different sidewalks around the community. We have been surveying people, which is us, understanding local regulations and standards to ensure compliance and safety. Although we found several other studies and we used a foundation from our survey, including key points such as understanding how pedestrians walk and look at the sidewalk and how is the walkability of the sidewalk, how is it accessible for other people. While others contain data concerning several responses where damage to the sidewalk were either overestimated or underestimated.
Okay, so our backstory, basically how it all started. We started working on sidewalk surveys because we wanted to get a better understanding of the sidewalk and how accessible it is for pedestrians, and especially disabled pedestrians. Our approach was to get a pedestrian's perspective on how sidewalks and civilians' community conditions were so that people who work on sidewalks can improve them and make them more accessible. We did this by asking a series of quantitative and qualitative questions. Our goal here in JPLM Analytics is to make sure that the sidewalk is a safe place for everyone, as in no large cracks or uneven surfaces and all that not good stuff.
So now I'm going to talk about the design that we did for our survey. So we decided to use ArcGIS 123 because it's very intuitive and the data collection process is easy, but it also gets the good data that we need for our presentation. And then we made decisions about our content based off things from our literature review. In our literature review, we saw sidewalk surveys and bike surveys. So we sampled some of that data and we decided what questions would work best for our survey and what questions we could leave. And we also used two different types of questions. We used quantitative and qualitative questions. And we also did a few dichotomous questions, which are either yes or no with two answers. And we did a lot of changing during our process because we wanted to make sure we had the best product available. So we kept on editing to make sure it was what was sufficient and what was our best. So now I'm going to talk about the process. So basically, the process is we went out on A&T's campus and we went from the whole campus around around the campus, including the dome. And basically, we got different survey points, and we saw the cracks in the sidewalk and different potholes and different other types of things that you wouldn't want on your sidewalk. And we surveyed those. And we also, in our survey, we took pictures, and so we could have like a visual reference. In our survey, we collected 25 responses. And then for our weaknesses and limitations, some of the data was harder to interpret due to it being a picture or it being an open response. But we worked through that and we made it easier to interpret.
So this is just our data analysis. It's gonna just show y'all a few graphs and a visual representation of the data that we collected.
Yeah, as you can see, we have these cracks right here. People can easily trip, and there's like breakage right here. So it's kind of like hard to just walk right here.
And
Because
then
it's right at the student center. And
I was gonna say that there's also, you can't really tell, but like even in this picture, like right here, is some unlovingness. So people, young people about people with disabilities, people who are in wheelchairs, people who are, or even people who just have like little crutches, like, you know, it's just liability. The campus is part. So our first question that we asked on the survey is, as you can see, which are you seeing in the sidewalk? People often said that they saw cracks or uneven surfaces, which also goes back to what I said about liability being in our campus or on our campus for people to have easy mobility around campus that have disabilities. Even people who don't have disabilities, it can be a trip hazard and things of that nature.
So the next graph we analyzed was for people who would rate the sidewalk conditions as a whole. And basically, our average answer was around 4, 3 to 4 range. So our average score was 3.4. And basically, for our score, this shows that the university could still make some improvements because 3.4 out of 5 is only 68%, which is below what you would want your sidewalk to be rated on, that you want people to walk on. So this information could really be used by the university in order to make needed improvements in order for our campus to become a better campus as a whole and more accessible to people who have disabilities to save the campus from liability issues.
Next question that we asked, or one of the other questions that we asked was, my sidewalk is accessible for elderly people with disabilities. The most common answer pitch was neutral. And when we asked this question, we didn't really, that's why that's some of the things we probably could work on, but we didn't really think about the demographic of the campus. Our campus is mostly people who are probably under the age of 26. So people under the age of 26 probably do feel neutral about how accessible the campus is for elderly and people with disabilities. So that's why you can see more neutral than any other answer choices. Do you have any safety concerns about your sidewalk? People mostly said yes, because yes and other. So we can gain from this that people who live on campus do feel that the sidewalks are a liability and that they need to be worked on more than what they have been worked on. So, yeah.
I do believe our survey was a success, but I would change in the future. I think, go to question, the slide 12 again. As Jordan said, this was a little ambiguous when the majority of us are like, we're in college. I'm not in college, but I will be. So we have mainly college students here. And now the workers, I would say they're, about 30, get your money.
well, the disabilities part, you may see people with disabilities, you know, here and there and stuff like that, but it's just really the elderly part. It's just like, you know, you have to just be careful without them.
I really agree with that point, and it also shows that for the strongly disagree and disagree, we need to focus more on that part of the graph due to the fact that those people have disabilities, and we need to focus on the people who have disabilities, because the people who don't have disabilities and don't have these needs, they wouldn't take the time to really care about survey. But if people took the time to put strongly disagree or disagree, it shows that it's a need here.
Definitely, I want to put this in bigger cities, because when we use the map, it kind of got confused a little bit, because this, I feel like it will work best if it was on like a general exact area, if we have like a general map of the area, instead of like the whole type of map of the whole world. That's what we had there, and that didn't really help us at all. So I need to work on that, and definitely, we got confused on the locations of lots. I went back with the data and I found that I couldn't find out where the spots were. So if we put this in a city and we're trying to find out where the sidewalk needs the most help in, we wouldn't understand where it needs the help in, and we can fix the spots that need help in. And this could really be used for bridges, I would say bridges, vehicles, definitely, and buildings. All we need to do is just change the wording a little bit, and this could help us. But definitely add the exact building that it needs to work in. Because the maps, we were kind of confused with that one. And hopefully next time we'll do better with that. So that's what we hope. And other than that, what do you have any questions?
Yeah, I will also add on that, that like she said, it probably wouldn't be useful in like larger cities. I feel like the survey is kind of more like, you try and get like a sample, like you try and get like a certain, you try and pick a certain point and get information from that certain and specific point. Yeah, so that's what I had to add on.
Any questions?
I have a question. In terms of the location data that you collected, are you saying that it was difficult when you were looking at your collected data to see specific locations on the map? So it was the user interface was not productive for this, or it was difficult to collect specific location data for the survey user?
It was difficult to find the exact location where we need to fix where those locations had cracks or potholes or crevices in the sidewalk.
So it's a limitation of survey 123 that it's not specific enough.
It's not specific, yes.
Yeah, it's more on the user interface part of the.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know, is there a team or a maintenance crew on the campus that actually works on the sidewalks, or is this a situation where they only come when students are off campus? Okay.
So maybe there is, I know Brandon said that he did see somebody working on maintenance. Me personally, I haven't seen anybody working on the sidewalks personally. But like you said, it could be like everybody is not on campus when things are taking place. You know, that could be very likely.
Any other questions?
Well, first of all, I will say thank you for dressing up. I think that is awesome, and I appreciate that. Y'all look good. So, one thing you mentioned during the presentation, which stood out at me, is you mentioned something about changing during the process. I think that's important. So you can go in with the best plan in mind, but then once you actually get out there and start doing the work, and you can see the limitations, you can see how you change it, and you can see that you need to pivot. So I thought that was a really good lesson to learn, and a really good thing to point out to everybody too. And I like at the end how we were already thinking about, okay, how can we take this now and scale it to the next level? Or what would we do differently next time? I think those are really good questions to ask, and I think it shows that you're really thinking about this in the project. So thank you.
Thank you.
We would like to take time to say thank you
Oh,
to
yes.
the people who have helped us. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Parker, data analyst. And then we would like to thank our RA, Mahmood, for all
Always being there, always.
And we would like to give a big thanks to Mr. Allen and Miss Audrey White for helping us with this program.